Hey tankers, Buckskin Snuggy here. Just wanted to make a quick video on side scraping. I don't really see enough people doing this in the game. We see a lot of guys throwing the whole front hull of their tank around corners and getting eaten alive just because they want to get a shot on somebody. Basically all it is sticking your bum out around a corner, having shells bounce right off your sides, and it's a really great tactic that everybody should be using pretty much with all tanks. Some tanks are a little bit better at doing it. Tanks like the E75, E100, Mouse, Tier 10 Russian heavies, even the IS-3, whatnot. They're pretty good for it because they got spaced armor and pretty good side armor to begin with. But tanks like the E50M and whatnot, I wouldn't really recommend it. If you have an enemy shooting high explosives or something like that at you, don't even bother side scraping because that shit is going to blow up and it's going to hurt you. Basically, positioning is kind of one of the hardest things to do it. There are times where I angle my ass out there a little bit too much and I get chewed up pretty bad from it, but all you really need for it to be done is just a good solid building or a rock, even a dead tank. Yeah, and that's pretty much about it. Try to get in some footage here and show you some side scraping. Right, so in a good urban map like this, side scraping is something that should most definitely be implemented into your playstyle. And like I said, the hardest part about it is positioning. So what I'm going to show you right here is we're just going to nudge right up to this building, basically hide our lower plate, stick our little bum out a little bit, pull back, expose the barrel of our gun, and we'll be ready to drop somebody. If they hit us, it should bounce. Like I said, positioning, boom, hide that front lower plate, mash it right up on there, angled just enough so that if we back up right here, you know what I mean, like the barrel is poking out and we're good to hit. You know what I mean, like I can even probably get in just a little bit tighter, bam, right there, so that all they see is just a little bit of the side here. Even that might be angled a bit too much. You don't want too much of an angle. This is going to take some practice. But instead of basically throwing your whole tank out like this and exposing yourself to take a shot, you want to be sitting there going like this. You know what I mean? Have that front end covered. Hide that big lower plate. That's your biggest, worst weak spot. Stick out. And then bam, let him have it. Gun back in. Hide that shit. You know, a good thing to do too is turn your turret a little bit.
Target locked. I see one of them.
Alright, prime candidate for side scraping. Here we go. He sees me. There he is. Technically all he could see is just a little bit of the side of my tank. Even that might be angled a little bit too much.
We're immobilized.
4-sig hit me. That thing's got a big cannon.
Tracks up.
Bounce. Side scraping. Engaged.
Track.
4-sig, hit me again.
Ready to fire.
Nothing.
Target unlocked. Track cleared. Critical hit. One of our tracks
Okay,
is
since he
gone.
only did
We can't
120,
move.
I'm kinda thinking
fixed
he
the
might have
track.
shot a high explosive at me. And that was just nothing more than splash damage that hit me.
They blew up our track. We're
See,
stuck.
that's all he's
We
doing.
didn't
He's shooting
penetrate
HE
their
at me. So technically, side scraping isn't really that effective against HE because as soon as it hits the side of my tank, it explodes. And what's hurting me is splash
We just
damage.
dinged them.
Normally I wouldn't just be sitting here like a total butthead just eating shot after shot, but for the purposes of the video, this is the kind of what I want to be implementing. So like I said, instead of going out like this and shooting him, what you want to be doing is using this for cover, stick your bum out a little bit, And I know it sounds corny, but expose yourself, blast away, and then go back in and hide. And because of the way you're angled, and he can only see a bit of the side of your tank, you should be fine. You'll take a lot less damage. He knows with his standard armor-piercing shells, he can't do anything. So he's spamming high explosives at me. That's a tier 10, shooting at a tier 9, and he's spamming explosives. If that doesn't say enough, then yeah, I'm not too sure what it would take to get people to do this.
Bounced off.
There we go. Wanted exposed just so he'd maybe take another shot at me. He's probably run out of explosive shells. Not too many people really bring that many. But in a nutshell, that's pretty much side scraping. You know, just pull back, get your barrel in position. I think he gave up shooting at me just because he knows he's not really going to be able to do jack shit. Because the IS-4 has such great armor on the front and the top of his turret, I'm probably not going to be able to do jack shit to him too, so we're pretty much at a stalemate. I'll even try to move around just to get lit up again.
Our track is hit. It could break any minute. Ready to fire. Target released. He's gone. Find us
See,
another
even in that
target.
situation, he threw his whole body out there to take a shot at me. That's why I got him. If he would have side scraped, he probably would have did a lot
We
better.
lost the